Hello, my wonderful sweethearts. Welcome to episode 2 of the Milk and Tea podcast, hosted by me, Miruku. This is a podcast where I share anything that is on my mind and provide my thoughts and perspectives with my own life experiences on a topic I feel passionate to talk about. Today's topic is conflict. Arguments and disagreements happen, but what is the best way to resolve conflict in relationships or even friendships with a close friend? Stick to the end for a short tarot message for this episode. Now, think of your relationship with someone close to you. It could be a romantic partner, best friend, or a family member. Your relationship is blissful with this person, and generally, you guys get along very well. Suddenly, a situation comes where there is a disagreement or miscommunication. This person approaches you with hostility, and you feel the need to defend yourself, or vice versa. Conflict happens. How do you react in these situations? Do you find yourself defending yourself or accusing? Perhaps a mix of both? I'm the type of person that doesn't speak about my emotions. I usually hide them and don't want to disrupt the peace in my friendships or relationships with others. However, it's been pretty harmful to my mental state of being. If conflict happens, I feel that the best possible outcome is to not speak my truth, to maintain peace between me and the other person. If confronted with hostility, I don't want to engage. Arguments, in my opinion, aren't very helpful. Being approached by someone looking for a fight doesn't create a safe space for me to feel comfortable opening up to others with my truth. Unfortunately, I find that withholding my truth isn't really being true to myself. I've been doing some reflection on my most recent conflict, and I won't get into the details, but I felt this overwhelming sense of exhaustion from conflict. Over time, every conflict that I remember just festered into this big ball of resentment. Why did this buildup of resentment happen? During my process of deep reflection, I've been reading a book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. This book was recommended to me by a dear friend of mine, Fox Lishman, a beautiful writer I had the pleasure of role playing in the game World of Warcraft Classic back in 2021. 2 years after purchasing the book and during my deep reflection on the cycle of conflicts I'm facing, I decided to read it. This book is life changing for me, and I highly recommend it for those into spirituality. I've read a section of the book that speaks of relationships and dove into conflicts. I've learned that the need to accuse someone or defend yourself in a conflict isn't the way to resolve these issues. What do we do when we feel strong emotions rise when conflict happens? Stop. Recognize that pain or strong emotion that is present within you, and be prepared to catch that feeling before this emotion overtakes your mind. You are not your feelings. Your feelings don't define you. Your pain doesn't define you. You define yourself. Once you catch that feeling, transform it into something positive for the highest good. This is an extremely brief summary of a short section of the book that I've read, but after I've read about 35 pages, I stopped and decided to reflect deeper on how I can apply this to my situation. How can I stop the series of conflicts from festering into resentment? I've read that to stop the resentment from building, it's important to forgive now. Forgive immediately, or resentment will build over time. For someone who holds a grudge, practicing forgiveness is a difficult task. Now I sit here in my head speaking to you, wondering how on earth do I transform my feelings into something for the highest good? I try to replay conflicts in my head, thinking, what could I have done better? I'm not good at speaking. I'm a writer. I like to think before I speak. I like to write down things I would say to a person before I would say it. But when confronted, my words are just a big jumbled mess. After every conflict I had, I felt nothing. No resolution, just resentment. I want to break this cycle. I want to change. I want change. Ideally, I would like it if the other person chose to sit down with me and discuss the conflict with no judgment, no hostility, just open communication. But, my wonderful sweethearts, we cannot control the actions of others. So, what can we do? Stop, recognize this pain, this feeling of strong emotions. Do not accuse or defend because this feeling isn't you. It's a defense mechanism to protect your ego. After you're present and aware of your emotions, become still and transform this energy into something positive, something for your highest good. How do we transform this feeling into something for the highest good? I'm still trying to figure that out for myself. Peaceful resolution is for the highest good, I feel. Listen to the other person, accept how they feel, accept how you feel. How can we solve our conflicts? I guess it depends on the situation. There is no one size fits all solution. Find common ground, remain peaceful and harmonious. Most importantly, forgive. To me, a peaceful discussion about our feelings and explaining why we feel the way we feel and working on steps to do better moving forward would be an ideal transformation. But what do you guys think? How do you resolve conflict? And remember, it's important to give the other person space if they desire a cooling off period. This gives both of you time to reflect on the situation. Then, both parties can approach each other when ready. Now it's time for a tarot card for this episode. Feel free to look up the meanings of the cards and provide your own interpretation if you wish. Today I'm using the Modern Witch Tarot by Lisa Stero. Today's card is the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is full of disappointments, imperfections, and unhappiness. It can also mean boredom or inaction. Nothing is going your way right now, and you could be feeling cynical. All it requires is a change of your outlook on the situation, and beautiful opportunities may await you. Bottom of the deck, what we're not seeing, is the Three of Pentacles. Your passion and dedication to learning and improving your skills is going to pay off. You've shown faithfulness into a project and you'll be rewarded. You have the talent to see this project of yours through. All right, my wonderful sweethearts. When I see these cards together, I have this feeling of boredom, feeling burnt out, tired, or the same thing, the same cycle happening over and over again. And it's like you're sitting here alone, looking at all these cups in front of you, like, oh my God, the same freaking cup is coming. What else is there? Not even paying attention to the other cup appearing in the clouds next to you. Today, we learned about transforming our feelings before they overtake our thoughts. Every cup could represent conflict. Like, oh my God, the same freaking disagreement happened again. What else is new? But I also learned in my book that conflict can transform into something better to serve the highest good. So, next time when conflict arises, we can look at it as an opportunity to turn it into something positive, like turn it into a positive outcome. With a change of outlook, we can create opportunity. Three of Pentacles hidden here, I feel like it's about togetherness and teamwork. The desire to build what it is that you want to build, create what you want to create. There is an ability to do that here, but we're too focused on the same cycle happening. You don't have to work through your situation alone. Work it out with someone you trust and dedicate yourself to building the creation that you desire. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Milk and Tea Podcast. I'm Miruku and I'll see you next time.